All right, lesson 6.7. Changing units. This is something that you've done. I know you did it last year. I think it's Mrs. Campbell that teaches this the way that, when it's from big to small, you multiply, right, where you cross your hands, and small to big, divide, right? Is that, who's the one who started that?
That's Miss Jenny.
Miss Jenny. That's third grade. Love it. You know what all that tells me is that you've been doing this since third grade, right? That's already awesome. That's awesome. Regardless, it's been done since third grade. That's pretty exciting. Anyway, it's pretty simple. I'm going to show you this, the way that she does it, if you just have to know the relationship between the two items that you're converting to. For example, if I have 5 gallons and I want to convert that into quarts, here's the deal. Here's the steps. I know a lot of you know that in your head. That's awesome. Here's the steps. The first thing you want to do is you want to decide if you're going from something big to something small, or if you're going to go from something small to something big. I have gallons. Do you see what I'm talking about? That's what I have. And I want to find out about quarts. I have gallons. I'm going to quarts. I'm going from something big to something small. And I know you can't see this on the video, but that means that you guys here in the classroom can see. Open your hands open wide, big. You close your hands to small, and you keep going, and that makes it X, which means that you multiply. It's that simple, right? It's that simple. The next step that you do is you have to decide what is the relationship between gallons and quarts. In other words, you have to know how many quarts there are in a gallon. If you don't know how many quarts there are in a gallon, then you can't do this assignment. Right? So if you don't have it memorized, which you all should, then you can go back and look at the previous lesson, and they tell you how many quarts there are in a gallon. How many quarts are there in a gallon? 4. There are 4. So you take what you have 5 gallons, and you multiply it by 4. So 5 times 4 is 20. Difficult? No. No. Let's not difficult for real. What about this? What if I have 2 2/3 yards, and I want to know how many feet that is. Okay, again, the steps we need to do here, there's just 2 things down here. One is you have to decide, am I going to multiply or divide? How do I decide that? How do I decide, Jonathan? Right, I have yards and I'm going to feet. I have big and I'm going to small. Keep your hands going, and that makes an X with your arms. That means you're going to multiply. Right? Okay. How many yards are there? Sorry, how many feet are there in a yard? What's the relationship between feet and yards? There is 3 feet in 1 yard. So I have to go 2 2/3 times 3. 2 2/3 times 3. What do I need to do to multiply this stuff? A couple of things I have to do. You should know this from previous lessons, this chapter. Jonathan, what else? What do I need to do? 8/3 times 3 over 1. Yes? Can I reduce anything? Yes. Divide by 3. That's a 1 and a 1. That just leaves me with 8. Right? Again, most of you probably could have done that in your head. I understand. But sometimes the numbers are so big that you can't do it in your head, and you need to know how to set it up and how to do it. Agree? What about this? What if I have, what if I have 4,500 pounds equals how many tons? Well, first thing I do, right, is I have to decide, am I going to multiply or divide? How do you decide if you're going to multiply or divide? Jared? This time, I'm going, what do I have? I have pounds, and I want to know tons. I have something small, and I want to know something big. When your hands go from big to small, you make a divide sign, right? So it's divide. What is the relationship between pounds and tons, Joy? 2,000. That's the number I'm looking for. The relationship between pounds and tons is 2,000. So I go 4,500 divided by 2,000. 4,500 divided by 2,000. How many times does 2,000 go into 4,500? 2. That leaves me with 500. So it's 2 and 500 2,000ths. Okay, reduce that to 1/4. It's 2 and 1/4 tons. Right? I don't think this is stuff that, I know you guys have done this in the past. I know. The only thing, well, let's look at this here. Let me see, what do they have you do here? Right. Okay, sometimes a question will ask you this. They'll say 4 feet 10 inches plus 3 feet 5 inches. This is kind of weird, but you're watching here. Just like normal, you're going to add from right to left. You go, okay, what is 10 inches plus 5 inches? 15 inches. And this is 7 feet. Is this how you would answer that, 7 feet, 15 inches? No, you'd have to regroup here, right? You have to regroup, and you go, okay, 15 inches. That's actually, it's more than a foot, right? So if I take out 1 foot, I need to take away a foot here, and add a foot here. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I'm taking away a foot in 12 inches over here, and I'm adding a foot over here. So this now becomes 8 feet, and 15 inches minus 12 is 3 inches. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I think that should. I don't think that you guys should be having trouble with that. What about this? What about this though? What if I subtract? What if I have, we'll use inches and feet again. What if I have 9 feet, 2 inches, and I take away 3 feet, 10 inches? Remember, we've done this before a little bit, right? Where we have to go borrow, we don't just borrow things group 10, right? So you go, okay, can I take away 10 inches from 2 inches? No. I have to go borrow a foot, right? I go borrow a foot, and I add a foot in the form of 12 inches, right? So I need to add 12 inches to this. So this becomes 14 inches. Does that make sense? 14 inches minus 10 inches is 4 inches, and 8 feet minus 3 feet is 5 feet. So 5 feet, 4 inches. Make sense? You guys think you think you got this?
Yes.
Well, let's just find out when you take your quiz right now. Here we go. Number 1. Number 1. Okay. There's your quiz. Okay, so here we go. You're, correct these, but mostly you're looking up here and watching, right? You're learning. You're making sure you got this. You're making sure you know how to do this. All right? All right, so here we go. The first one, we're going from something that is, well, we have inches, we're going to feet. So we have small, and we're going big, which means that we divide. Right? Okay. What is the relationship between inches and feet? What's the number that we're looking for? 12. Okay. 40 divided by 12. What is 40 divided by 12? Comes out to 3 and a remainder of 4. So 3 feet, 4 inches, or 3 and 4/12 feet. How can I reduce that? 3 and 1/3. 3 and 1/3 feet. Right? Number 2. What do I have? Well, what do I need? What's going on? I need to know if I'm multiplying or dividing. I have something huge. I'm going to something small. That means that I multiply. What's the relationship between tons and pounds? What's the number I'm looking for? 2,000. 3 and 1/2 times 2,000, which is 7 over 2 times 2,000 over 1. Can I reduce anything? Divide by 2, divide by 2. This is now 1,000, and that's a 1. 7 times 1,000 is 7,000. And you should be able to look at that and go, that makes sense, right? I mean, 3 tons, what is 3 tons? If 1 ton is 2,000, 3 tons is 6,000, well, then 3.5 tons, that makes sense, right? You should be able to look at that and see that, yeah, that's probably right. Right, Mr. Jang? Right, yeah. Number 3, I'm going to add them together. I have 6 quarts and 3 gallons. Is that how you would answer that? No. What's the problem with this is that this is too much. I'm going to take away a gallon from here, minus a gallon, in the form of 4 quarts. And I'm going to add a gallon over here. So now I have 4 gallons, and I have 2 quarts. Does that make sense? 4 gallons and 2 quarts is the answer. Number 4. We all grading these? Right? Yes. Number 4. Number 4. Can I take away 1,200 pounds from 500 pounds? No. I'm going to go borrow a ton and add a ton in the form of?
2,000 pounds.
Right? Can I take away 1,200 pounds from 2,500 pounds now? 1,300, 4 minus 2 tons. 2 tons, 1,300 pounds is the answer. Okay, your homework. You guys did well. Your homework is page 294 to 295, 8 through 24 even, and 36 to 41 even. It's that simple.